It may seem strange to you, but when I was poor, my goal was to make it seem like I was actually rich. Now that I've become rich, my goal is to appear like a homeless person. Yes, I know it sounds like I'm overdoing it, especially if you're not making much money yet, but trust me, as soon as you start earning more, this will become your goal too. But why is appearing poor essential? Even if you're rich, there are strong psychological, social, and financial benefits to looking modest. And I'm sure that if you stay until the end of this video, you might just find yourself reevaluating the way you present yourself to the world. Shall we bet? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about the stress that comes with trying to appear rich. Imagine being on a never-ending treadmill, constantly running but getting nowhere. That's what it feels like when you're always trying to keep up appearances. You have to buy the latest phone, the trendiest clothes, the newest car, and for what? To impress people who might not even notice or care. The truth is, most people are too busy thinking about their own lives to pay attention to yours. The only person you need to impress is yourself. When you look modest, you free yourself from this pressure. Suddenly, you don't have to worry about what others think. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. And let me tell you, that's one of the most liberating feelings in the world. For example, I used to work with someone who spent every spare dollar on designer suits because he thought it made him look successful. He was drowning in credit card debt, but hey, at least he looked good in meetings, right? Meanwhile, the CEO of the company would walk in wearing a plain polo shirt and khakis. Who do you think was truly successful? Here's a little secret. The wealthiest people often don't look wealthy at all. They don't need to. Take Warren Buffett, for instance. Despite being one of the richest men in the world, he still lives in the same modest house he bought in the 1950s and drives a simple car. Or Mark Zuckerberg, who's famous for his plain gray t-shirts and hoodies. These people don't spend their energy trying to look rich because they're too busy actually being rich. When you stop trying to look wealthy, you can focus on building real wealth. Think about it. Every dollar you spend on luxury items is a dollar you're not investing. And investments grow. A $5,000 vacation today might seem like a good idea, but if you invested that money and let it grow at an average annual return of 10%, it could turn into $140,000 by the time you retire. That's the difference between temporary satisfaction and long-term security. Let's break it down further with a few compelling reasons why appearing modest can actually elevate your life. You learn contentment. The less you focus on material possessions, the more you can appreciate the non-material things in life. Gratitude for what you already have brings lasting happiness. You avoid the rat race. When you're not competing to look richer than your peers, you save yourself time, energy, and mental peace. You build true wealth. Every dollar saved from not splurging on appearances can be invested or put toward meaningful goals. You maintain a low profile. This can keep you safer and more grounded. Looking rich can sometimes attract the wrong kind of attention. Now let's talk about relationships. When you're not flaunting your wealth, you attract people who value you for who you are, not what you have. This is crucial because superficial relationships often lead to disappointment. I've experienced this firsthand. Back when I was trying to look rich, I ended up surrounded by people who only cared about what I could do for them. The moment I stopped spending money to impress them, they disappeared. It hurt at first, but in hindsight, it was the best thing that could have happened to me. Now, my friends are people who truly care about me, and our relationships are stronger and more meaningful. Living modestly also has practical advantages. For one, it makes you less of a target. If you're constantly showing off your wealth, you're more likely to attract scammers, thieves, and other opportunists. But when you look like everyone else, you can move through life with a sense of security. This isn't about living in fear. It's about being smart and protecting yourself. Another benefit is the clarity and peace of mind that come with minimalism. When you're not focused on acquiring more stuff, you can focus on what really matters. Think about your own home. Do you have closets full of clothes you never wear? Drawers stuffed with gadgets you don't use? All that clutter isn't just taking up physical space, it's taking up mental space too. By simplifying your life, you make room for the things that truly bring you joy. Here are a few steps to embrace modest living. Reevaluate your priorities. Ask yourself what truly matters to you. Is it financial freedom, time with your family, pursuing your passions? Once you know your priorities, it becomes easier to let go of the things that don't align with them. Practice gratitude. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on what you're thankful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, and that can make a huge difference in your overall happiness. Invest in experiences, not things. Memories last a lifetime, but material possessions rarely do. Instead of buying a new gadget or outfit, consider spending your money on a trip, a class, or an experience that will enrich your life. Embrace the concept of enough. Learn to be content with what you have. This doesn't mean you should stop striving for more. It means you should appreciate where you are right now. Be intentional about your purchases. Before you buy something, ask yourself if it's something you truly need, or if you're buying it to impress others. Declutter regularly. Take stock of what you own and let go of items that no longer serve a purpose. Donate them, sell them, or recycle them to simplify your living space. Let's return to the psychological benefits of modesty. When you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses, you reduce stress and anxiety. There's a term for this: the Hedonic Treadmill. It's the idea that no matter how much we acquire, we quickly return to a baseline level of happiness. So why not step off the treadmill altogether? Instead of chasing happiness through possessions, find it in the simpler things: a walk in the park, a good book, or a heartfelt conversation. Speaking of simplicity, let me tell you a story about my own journey. When I first started decluttering my life, I felt a sense of freedom I hadn't experienced in years. I sold the clothes I never wore, donated the gadgets I never used, and kept only the things that truly brought me joy. The result? A cleaner home and a clearer mind. I'm not saying you need to become a minimalist overnight, but even small changes can have a big impact. You might be wondering, but what if people judge me? Here's the truth. People will judge you no matter what you do. You could be the richest person in the room, and someone will still find a reason to criticize you. So why not live for yourself? Why not make choices that align with your values and bring you genuine happiness? Finally, let's talk about the long-term benefits of modesty. When you live below your means, you can achieve financial independence sooner. Imagine retiring early, not because you won the lottery, but because you made smart financial choices. Imagine having the freedom to pursue your passions, spend time with your loved ones, and live life on your terms. That's the power of modesty. So, the next time you're tempted to buy something you don't need, remember this conversation. Ask yourself who you're doing it for. If the answer isn't you, put it back on the shelf. Focus on building a life that's rich in experiences, relationships, and purpose, not possessions. Here are some final quick tips to embrace modesty and its benefits. Cook more, eat out less. Cooking at home not only saves money, but also promotes healthier eating habits. Borrow instead of buy. Need a tool or a book. Check with friends or your local library before purchasing. Set financial goals. Knowing what you're working toward makes it easier to resist unnecessary spending. Learn a new skill. Investing time in personal growth can be more rewarding than any material purchase. Prioritize rest. A modest lifestyle often comes with less stress, giving you more time to rest and recharge. Thanks for sticking with me through this journey. I hope this has given you some food for thought. If you're ready to embrace the power of modesty, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, it's not about looking poor. It's about living rich in the ways that truly matter. See you soon.